Howdy folks, welcome back. It's September 5th, 2020. 76 degrees here in the state of Washington, another beautiful day. This is a video that I did a video on this area before, and didn't go into very much depth at all. But I was surprised that there was virtually no comments at all about what we were seeing in that video. I don't know if people didn't know how to react to it, if they thought it was phony baloney. Nobody said a word really about what was actually in these pictures. And personally, I thought this was one of the most important videos that I've done. It shows more in this video in so many different ways that it's mind-boggling. Actually, it's too hard to believe. I mean, I understand it. And I have to give a nod to a guy by the name of Michael Gaspards, who found some pictures on the backside of the moon. And when I first saw his video, I believed what he was saying, but what he was showing me seemed just too preposterous. And he was showing these giant constructions of different types of creatures from Earth. This is on the back side of the moon. Here's an example of one right here. And that was an alligator. This looks like kind of like a T-Rex. And he had all different kinds of pictures. Just about every kind of animal you can imagine. So anyway, I saw this video and I just thought, it's just kind of preposterous. I really just need to put that on the back burner, which I did for about 3 years. And so moving forward, I was doing some work on the moon, and it was a video called something about lakes on the moon. And I saw this thing here, and I thought that, it looks, to me, it looks like a dog. Why would they have... So here I am looking at a picture of a dog. This is on this side of the moon, not the opposite side of the moon. And this dog appears to have what looks like a lady's boot in its mouth. So my question was, is this really here? Am I really seeing this? This is similar to what Michael Gaspards had done. I didn't really know for sure, but that's what it looked like to me. So I didn't say much about it. I did touch bases on it. But we're talking about Mars, and one of the things that we've discovered on Mars with this channel is that Mars is alive and well. There are cities, vast cities, all over the planet. And these are some satellite pictures that you're looking at right now. So I'm not taking any responsibility for finding these pictures. Other people have found them, and I've brought them forward. So they're definitely there, no question about it. So I had gone through a period on my channel where I was looking at dunes on Mars, because I was starting to find out every time there was something they didn't want us to see, it involved dunes. And one of the things I thought was really crazy about these dunes here, they're called dunes in Bunge Crater, is that, look, they're all black, right? All black sand, presumably, and nothing but white sand all around. So how do you get black dunes in the middle of whiteness? I didn't really understand that at all. And so what I'm talking about in this video is construction, and we're looking at construction in the middle of all these dunes. Each one of these white spots in the middle of the dunes is construction, and there's construction around the outsides as well. And there are depictions in these areas in between the dunes. I'm going to call them dunes, but they're not dunes. They're also constructions. And they're very dark, and I've made them darker with contrast, so we're not going to get to see much of the actual dunes themselves, only some tidbits here and there. But the thing is, no matter how you want to look at what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the black and white version and also the colored version, and these things you'll be able to see for yourself are actually here. It's not made up. who could make this up anyway? You know, how many times have you heard me say that? But here is a depiction of a lovely lady. You can see her eyes coming down from the 12 o'clock, and she's wearing a dress. This is wearing a gown. It's off the shoulder, and you can see her arm going down. And she has a smile on her face, just a little smile out of the corner of her mouth, not a full-on smile, just a little smile there, a little out of the crook of her mouth. And right next to her is a portrait of her husband. He's just left of center here. He's got curly hair and a beard, and this is part of the picture within a picture that I've been talking, that I meant to tell you that I'm going to be talking about. There are pictures within pictures within pictures in this area here. So yes, here's her husband, a very stately looking fellow. I don't know why we didn't get to have the whole guy. Maybe just not enough room, I don't know. But they just gave us a portrait of him. And right next to, or not right next to, but the husband becomes a swaddled baby. Okay, so on top of the husband's head is what looks like the head of a baby, and you can see his ears and his nose and his hairline, and the blanket he's swaddled in goes from left to right, and it comes around from the opposite side. You see it? So here we have a woman standing next to a portrait of her husband, which becomes a swaddled baby. Now this is culture, right? I mean, is this their culture? Is this Martian culture, or is this Earth culture? I'm really not sure. I have pictures of people from Mars, and they look just like us. So maybe their culture is the same as ours. But these pictures, don't forget, are satellite pictures. And these are meant to be seen only from high altitude, much like the Nazca lines in Peru, where they created the outlines of animals lining with lines of rocks. Now, here is a picture of her father or somebody. Now, look at her arm coming down. Do you see the construction of that arm? And this picture of her father, it's a tough picture. He looks kind of put back together. Looks like he's been through a lot, and might even have some medical bandages on his face or something like that. But regardless of the band-aids, he is smoking a cigar. Really? He's smoking a cigar on Mars. A depiction of a man put back together smoking a cigar on Mars. I just find that to be just shocking. I don't know any other word for it. I mean, of all the things to depict for people to see from a satellite image, is a man who's been put back together smoking a cigar. So that is very much an Earth thing right there, isn't it? That seems like it comes from Earth. And right next to the man, connected to the head of the husband, the portrait of the husband, is another individual I call the Tin Man, who's looking at the man who's put back together, and he seems to be fairly horrified. His mouth is agape, his eyes are looking over, and he just doesn't think that that guy looks too good, so he seems to be somewhat horrified. There's more, though. That's the crazy thing about these pictures within pictures. It just seems to keep going on and on. So here we have a picture of a woman, her portrait of her husband, a swaddled baby, and her father, where her hand is down over the heart of her father. Look at that. See how she's got her hand going down there? But now the hand and the arm becomes the ear of the family pet. And something like a dog, seems to be very good-natured, and the dog appears to be staring into the face of the swaddled baby, and even has kind of a smile on his face. So we have a mother, a father, a baby, probably a grandfather, and the family pet, all to be seen from space. So that's why I said this is for us. They put this together. I don't know how interested they would be as looking at their own culture over and over like this. To me, it seems like this was something that was made for us. I could be wrong. Now, in the bottom right portion here, where the bottom right next to the woman, sort of a tan-colored section, is another picture within a picture. And there's actually two faces on that little thing, and they really don't have much to do with anything. But there's the eyes, the nose, and the mouth of one of them, and it's sort of it's almost like they threw this picture in or something. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything like the rest of it does. But there's the lower part of that picture within a picture. And right above that is what appears to be a bunny rabbit. And at the very top, where the bunny rabbit's ears meet the edge of the picture, you can see some buildings there. Very interesting. Now we have the three amigos here. Again, this is another construction. I'm going to remind us over and over that we're going to be looking at this from high altitude. But this appears to be a fox, a primate, and a hippo. That's what it looks like to me. And if you look closely, you can see the construction in between the black areas, all of the buildings, and how they put these things together to be seen from space. Now, one thing that I have come to realize is that the people who live on Mars, this has been in existence for millions of years. These people have got it down. I get asked all the time about infrastructure and what do they eat and drink and all of that. I don't know any of that. But I do know that they've been around for a very long time, and they've got it all down, including how to construct and well, I guess that's it. You know, their buildings, I've never seen one building that's crumbling. Nothing at all in these pictures of cities to make me think that Mars is not alive. And so you can kind of see a look on the fox's face. He seems to be a little bit distressed. That's what it looks like to me. And there's a reason for that. There's a picture coming up here that will include some more images of why Mr. Fox might be distressed. But you can very clearly see the individual structures, and they use individual buildings or a half a building that they build in a dark color to make an eye or a nose hole or something like that. And there are plenty of pictures in these areas that I did not develop. Some of them I couldn't completely understand, but I got all of the best ones, and they're very, very clear and obvious. So this is up above the woman's head. The woman is, her head is right at the 6 o'clock position. And here we have, we're introducing a new creature. Over on the left is a blue, what looks like a shark. Also, we have a python and an alligator. And the bunny rabbit seems to be looking up at the alligator, and the alligator's licking his chops. And the bunny rabbit saying, "I see you, you're not going to get me." And look at the construction up above the rabbit's ears. There are some pretty clear construction that you can see. And keep in mind also that there are pixels involved here. We're so close in, the pixels are very large, and most of the time we're looking at what's in the middle of the pixels. So here is the blue shark, who seems to be on the heels of the fox, and this is why the fox has this look on his face of being somewhat frightened or worried, concerned, whatever you want to say. And I don't have, I don't have any answers why we have a shark on land chasing a fox, or maybe the fox is running through water. Who knows? But it is there, and that little fox is pretty scared. Now here's a couple guys. One of them has real racy blonde hair, which seems to be a thing for Martians, or at least what they think we look at, whichever the case may be. And to the left of the racy hair is a guy who has a real scary look on his face. And in fact, it looks like he's staring right at us. And when you get a closer picture in the black and white, you can see the buildings and you can see how they put this together. Again, to be seen only from high altitude. And there happened to be a very large, very interesting building there. I colored in yellow. I just left it on there. I thought it was kind of interesting. So I tilted the picture so we don't have to crank our necks to see. Now he looks like he's looking to the left. It looks like a scary guy. I said before, he looks like he's from Hellraiser, the movie Hellraiser. Putting pins through his cheek and all kinds of weird stuff like that. So here's another section that has quite a few pictures in it, and we're going to go around in a circle. Starting at 3 o'clock is a picture of a woman. Her mouth is wide open. She has apparently one buck tooth, and to her left is a male. And then going over to above the 7 o'clock position, another individual who has a shocked look on his face. Above him, a 9 o'clock position, is another male that has a racy haircut. And then there were some felines towards the top. So I tilted the picture again so we can get a more natural view of it. But take a look at the buildings in the white areas here. It's not 100% clear, but it's clear enough to see the structures themselves. And in the middle there is some sort of a little creature I don't recognize as it being an earth creature. So if these are earthlings and depictions of people on Earth, then why would we have this foreign little creature in there? Don't know what that's about, but he is awfully cute, I gotta say. Some creature with ears like that, you just want to hug that thing. And we have a couple more guys here. This is again the guy with the shocked look on his face and his buddy with the racy hair. What is it about the racy hair? I don't know. But you got to wonder why this guy looks so shocked. I mean, he's looking at his friend, and he just has this really a very wide-eyed, shocked look on his face. And the reason for that is that we have, again, another picture within a picture. When you look at the guy with the racy hair, he can become something different depending on how you look at it, and obviously depending on how I colorize it too. And I'm going to help you see what he is, but there they are. And you got to wonder why his friend has such a startled look on his face, because out of everyone he looks the most startled. And there it is. If you look at this picture properly, or in different ways, you'll see that there's also a picture within a picture of an alien head. It looks like a gray. I couldn't do him gray because everything else is gray. And he has a very large eye, like the grays do, but one eye is winking. Right? So I see an alien head there, one wide eye and one eye winking. To me, that's one of the strangest things in this whole video, is why on earth would they depict an alien in there with a wink? What does that mean? As I've said, there are pictures within pictures, and there are stories being told in these pictures. And what is the story of the winking alien? You know, I just don't get that. But one thing I did notice is that with the where the position of the alien head is, everybody else's face is facing in his direction, and he's looking back at them. Now, they're not all necessarily looking at him, but they're all facing his direction, and he's looking back. And I want to introduce a new individual in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a very strange, funny-looking fellow there who is a kind of a cartoon depiction, and he's flapping his tongue. I mean, his mouth is wide open, and he's excited about something, and he's pointing straight up into the sky. So is he pointing into the sky? Is this related to the alien? So that he had seen the alien and he's seen where they come from, and he's sounding the alarm that we have aliens walking among us. This is, of course, on Mars. And this is something that people have been saying here on Earth for a long time, that there are aliens walking among us. There always have been aliens walking among us. It's nothing new. We just are now beginning to realize it. And it's going to be hard to crack that egg open to see what's on the inside. Right here we have a couple more depictions of things. The green on the left towards the middle there is what looks like an insectoid head. It's got like nose holes and eyes, sort of a little mouth. Looks very much like an insect head. And right in the dead center is what I thought was a horse with this neck arched, and his chin of the horse is in very tight up against the neck. There's a couple pictures here that were kind of bugging me for over time. I saw things. I don't know whether to believe it or not. It could be pareidolia. I don't know. In the center of the screen, just down from midnight, the 12 o'clock position, there's a couple eyes that seem to be crossed and a nose sticking out. Okay, this is a depiction. I think these guys have a sense of humor. You know, and it could be pareidolia. I don't know. But it looked real to me. And here is another very, very strange picture. Again, I couldn't say if this is pareidolia, but I find it hard to believe that it would be. This looks like a man with bad teeth who's standing there petting the head of a creature that's eating out of a bowl. Now, it's pareidolia if it's the man, or if it's the dog, or if it's the bowl. But when you have three of them together, and he seems to be dressed with white shoes, his arm is coming out of the short sleeve, petting the head of the creature. So look, if these were individual things, but together they're telling a story, and that tells me that that's there. It would have taken quite some effort to get there too, I must say. So that's pretty strange, especially considering what's going on here in these pictures in Gale Crater, that people would have time to do something like that. Now, this vessel was sitting up here on the top of one of the hillsides in a previous video. And look, I mean, it looks like he's got eyeballs, right? I mean, how did that happen naturally? I don't see how that could possibly happen naturally. But it's there kind of just for fun. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is. See you next time.